Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to Football Manager 2014. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to episode 10 of my You Don't Win Anything with Kids series on Football Manager 2014 as Jeffries Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to episode 20 of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome back to You Don't Win Anything with Kids. This is episode 30. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to episode 40 of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to episode 50 of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to episode 60. Can you believe we've reached 60 episodes already? But yeah, this is the 60th episode of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to a special episode of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. This is episode 70. But it's transfer deadline day. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to episode 80 of You Don't Win Anything. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to episode 99 of You Don't. Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to the 100th episode of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. I'm sure some of you are sitting there thinking it's a bit of an over-the-top introduction, don't you think? But to me, I think it sums it up perfectly. I tried to choose one from every set of 10 episodes leading up to this one. Obviously, episode 90 was the green screen one. I think it was the second or third green screen one we had. Therefore, I chose episode 99 instead. But like I said, this is the 100th episode of You Don't Win Anything with Kids, and it's going to be a special episode because it's going to be an extra long one. If I go on the fixtures, you'll see here we got Gillingham, today's match, in the Johnson's Paint Trophy South semi-final. Then we've got Rotherham, Rochdale and Burton all at home in League 2. So I thought, why not put them all together into one extra long episode and celebrate the 100th episode of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. And in case you guys don't know, because I don't think I've mentioned it yet, this is the 100th episode of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. Episode 99, obviously the last episode, I talk a little bit about what this means to me and how my channel started and things like that at the end of that episode. So some of you will already know, but for those of you who haven't seen that, just sum it up again really. This series is my flagship series. So I do lots of series, as you might have seen. I do FIFA series, I do things like SimCity, I do Cities in Motion. Every now and then I do a Halo video with my brother. But this is the one that I enjoy the most, and it's also the one that I like recording the most. So this is the one that I plan on doing for as long as possible, preferably until Football Manager 2015 comes out, and even then I'll carry on doing it, but on that next generation of game. So, this is the 100th episode, as I keep saying, but it's the start of a bright future, I think, for this. Lots of people have given me feedback saying they enjoyed the format of this series. I've had a couple of conversations with people about, ways of scouting and ways of setting the team up and things like that. So it's great that you guys are helping, by getting involved and giving me advice of your own and taking what I say on board. And that's basically the reason why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I'd have no reason to do this. I think it's great that you guys can communicate with me about how your teams are getting on and all sorts of things like that. So if anyone out there is sitting watching this and wants to get in touch and discuss tactics and ideas and even players to sign, by all means do. You can either leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can drop me a private message through YouTube, and I tend to reply almost straight away. Basically, as soon as the notification comes through, I tend to read the message and then respond to it. So yeah, feel free to do that. But yeah, enough of that. That's boring preamble spiel. What we're going to do now is go into the match. So, like I said, we're against Gillingham in the Johnston's Paint Trophy South semi-final, and we're playing at Stamford Bridge. Once again, I still don't agree with that, but can't do much about it now. I'm sure the stadium, what's it called? Jeffreys Arena, that's the one. I'm pretty sure that's almost finished. In fact, I'll check that quickly. Yeah, the 16th of January it's finished, and we're in the 9th of December, so it's just over a month away. We'll move back in, and then we'll finally return home, and we'll have some proper home matches. In the meantime, we do have to suffer with Stamford Bridge. I suppose we could have had worse stadiums. We could have had White Hart Lane, for example. The atmosphere there is terrible. I should know. I've been there and experienced it. So now all the Spurs fans have dropped out. Let's move on with this, shall we? So, because it's a semi-final, normally I play a reserve squad or a rotated squad, but I'm going to stick with a pretty decent starting 11. So we'll have Quintana in goal, because if ever you need to save a goal, he is your man. We're going to have Villa at right back. We're going to have Jones at left back. And then we're going to have Cartwright and Stevens. There he is. Centre backs. The usual suspects in the back four. Solid back four, actually. I've been incredibly impressed with how well they've done this season and how well they did last season as well. Coping with the brand new class of players, higher class of players. It's been really good to see how well they've done and adapted. Right, midfield. The deep line playmaker. Who should I have? I changed some of these actually on my test career, so I might consider changing them on here as well, but can't actually remember what I changed them to, which isn't very good. I know I changed this one. In fact, I changed this one a couple of episodes ago, so I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm just going to leave everything as it is. I don't want to touch anything, in case I mess it up. We're going to have Forster Kasky anyway as the deep line playmaker, because he plays that position pretty well. It doesn't show it there. It doesn't justify it. Only 2 stars. Right. Centre midfield. I'm torn at the moment between Sam Mantum and Regle Delamond. Purely because I bigged him up a couple of episodes ago. I said how well he was doing, and I looked at his stats in real life and things like that. So I'm going to choose Sam Mantum. Attacking midfielder, the en gauche role, I'm going to of course choose Bobo da Silva. Left midfield, I'm going to have Lars Beckhold. There he is, stick him in. Right midfield, again it's a tricky one, because I can have a combination of Johnston, Carino, Drewson, or in fact even Thompson and Marshall play well down that side. It's a real... We're starting to get to that stage where it's getting harder and harder to choose a starting 11 because of the amount of players we've got who can play in certain positions. Whereas, like last season we were struggling for cover in certain areas, and even the season before that. That's the whole reason we ended up signing David Stevens, was because we basically ran out of centre-backs. Turns out that was actually... It worked in our favour because we got someone of Stevens' calibre. Calibre? Is that right word? Something like that. His abilities. And yeah, he's been our solid centre back ever since. So who am I going to have? I'm torn between Marshall and Carino, I think. But I think Carino's been out injured, hasn't he? So I'm going to throw him in, because it'd be good to have him back in the team. And also he's got very high average rating, 7.44. In fact, I think it's the highest apart from Cartwright out of our entire starting 11. And he's tied with Villa. And he has a good relationship with Villa as well, so works in our favour. Striker, Peter Wilson. He's been out injured. He's only come back recently. His brother Keith has been filling in the gaps recently. But I think it's time we brought Peter back into it, because he's been one of our highest scorers since this series began. So it's always good to keep faith in your best players. Bench, O'Brien, Hutchinson, Klopmas, Thompson, wherever he's gone. There he is. And Tomlin. So we've got obviously the goalkeeper, we got the right back, centre back, we got the right back, left back, we got the centre midfield and the right midfield and the attacking midfield, and we've also got the attacking midfield, the left midfield and the striker. So we're covered in all areas. And yeah, let's get into the match, because we are actually 8 minutes in, and I know this is an extended episode, but still, we're 8 minutes in and we haven't actually seen a ball get kicked yet. So I think it's time I stopped taking the mickey and actually showed some footage. Right, skip through this stuff again. I expect nothing but a win from this match. Good team talk there from Gerard Huntington. And yeah, kickoff, here we go. You see, it's still, considering the fact we're in December, and you know, Stamford Bridge doesn't have a roof, so if it rains or if it snows, you'll know it. We actually got pretty good conditions out there. It's not raining, like I said, it's not snowing. I know we're playing under the floodlights because it would be dark outside, but it looks very, very bright out there. Perfect conditions for a game of football, and I'm hoping the Jeffreys Arena is something like that as well when we move back in. A bit of a speculative clearance that was there, but it actually fell kindly to Wilson. He's got good link up here with the rest of his team, and he just curls it wide. That's unlucky. Good start though, 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes in, and we're already having shots on goal. Mind you, Gillingham have had a shot as well. Wasn't on target, but it could have easily been on target. We don't know. We didn't see it. We're just going up to 7 minutes in actually. We both had a shot, both off target. We're dominating possession, but free kicks and fouls is almost identical. We've even been caught offside. I don't know who that was. But yeah, you know, we're out of the traps nice and early, making it feel like a proper semi-final. And that was a good shot from Bobo there. Jamie Ashdown with, I think that's Jamie Ashdown, with a very good save. Could have easily gone in. Beckhold with a little flick on there towards Wilson, but it got hacked away. Darius Henderson on loan at Gillingham. I assume he's on loan. He might even be a full-time transfer. That's quite something. That's quite a coup for Gillingham, actually. He's at Notts Forest for real at the moment, I believe. So, yeah, even if they've signed him on loan, it's a pretty good deal for them. He's a very, very good striker. Alright, Manton with the ball to the back post. Beckhold's header. Another good save from Ashdown. So that's 6 shots, 2 on target now, and 2 on target in pretty, I'd say actually pretty quick concession is not right at all. There's about 10 minutes between those 2 shots. I'm not looking at the clock, I'm looking at the action. Bobo pulls it towards the box to force the Kasky. He could hit that actually, he's choosing not to, but then no one's actually making a run for him. So he just flicks off the defender's ankles, and the other centre-back managed to get it away. Oh look, there's Marcus Haber. He's a good striker actually, Haber. I'm not that bothered that he's not playing for Stevenage at the moment, but I think he deserves a break in League One, because he's good enough for League One. You see Gillingham have given him a chance. So yeah, I don't see why not. That was Henderson causing trouble for our defence. Just ricocheted around a little bit. Somehow didn't go in. It was nearly an own goal. In fact, I think it would have been an own goal had that ball gone in. Luckily for us, it didn't. And it's still 0-0. Shots-wise, they've only had 2 shots. We've had 6 still. And we've had those 2 on target. So we've had the same number of shots on target as they've had shots in total. So So, you know, we're in control. We just need to keep it up. See, Wilson gets the ball in a good attacking position, and there you go. 1-0, 28th minute, Peter Wilson. Back from injury, back in the team, makes it count. Good little movement there as well to get round his man. Not the best ball in there from Carino. I think the slide tackle actually played in our favour, and you see the way Wilson just shimmied it past Davis there and knocked it into the bottom corner. Very, very good play from the striker and a very, very good finish. So yeah, we're 1-0 up. Coming up to the 40th minute, we've got a corner which Bobo will swing in. Goes near post towards Wilson. Comes out to Carino. Good save from Ashdown, but the ball was going wide. I think Carino should have hit that on his right foot. He hit it on his left instead. But then, you know, if he's got the confidence, I don't see why he can't have a go. Because you never know. Corner comes out as far as Stevens. He finds Forster Kaski. Back to Villa. Back inside to Forster Kaski. And I guess there wasn't much movement there because we don't see where the ball goes after that. Our midfield looks like it's dropping quite deep, actually. That's a poor pass from Beckhold as well. Good challenge from Cartwright to win it back. I like challenges like that. I like full-blooded but fair challenges from centre-backs. Ones where they really, really put their all into it, but they only win the ball. They look really, really well controlled and balanced and just well judged. And I kind of wish we did one there because Darius Henderson sneaks in behind Jones and makes it 1-1. That's like their first shot they've had on target. And again, we've had as many shots on target as they've had shots. Yet, it's the scoreline that counts. And actually, it was Haber who, I'm guessing he hit a shot and it deflected off one of our defenders into the path of Henderson. But you could definitely accuse Jones there of ball watching because he was not watching the run of Henderson at all. He was far too busy admiring Haber doing whatever it was Haber was doing. Gillingham free kick, miles wide. Got nothing to worry about there whatsoever. So yeah, we're coming up to half time. I can't really see any changes that I want to make to the team. Just send them out again as they are in the second half and hope that their performances pick up slightly. Usually you get a little bit of a burst after half time, sort of at the time where the manager has a word with his players and tells them what he thinks. I assume I can do that here. Yeah, put Carino back on the right hand side. I'm not too keen on that feature on the game. I like the fact that the wingers can swap sides. I don't like the fact that then if you make a substitution or something like that happens where it goes to half time or an injury or something like that, where they stick on those wings and then you've got to manually move them back before they're in their proper positions again. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's a bit of a pain. I think if it has the feature where you can swap them over, it should automatically swap back whenever there's an issue like that. Only if you manually swap them should they stay swapped. That, you know, that's easily fixed. It'd be a little patch or something if people complain to Sports Interactive. I'm not. I mean, it's a pet peeve more than anything. I'm not entirely bothered. You can see again, Carino's moved over onto the left-hand side, and sometimes it works because the marker's not expecting it. And you know, 1 minute he's chasing Carino down the wing, the next minute he's chasing Beckhold. That's why I like it, because it's a useful feature in that sense. It's just when they get stuck in those positions and you have to move them back. That's the only time I don't like it. Again, I'm being a bit picky there. It's a tiny, tiny flaw in an otherwise fantastic game. So you have to be really over the top to let that ruin your experience. Right, Villa winning the header there. Fogden easily picking that ball up. Not really sure where our winger was there actually, because that was a good header from Villa. Just needed someone to get on the end of it. I wasn't expecting Jones because he was watching his man further up the pitch. So really it should have been, I'm guessing, Carino still on that side of the pitch. And yet he wasn't chasing it. Bit of a mystery. Bobo plays in Manton into Wilson. I believe this is the Wilson brother who likes to play with his back to goal, so he is definitely the hold-up man. And the... oh, unlucky there. He's the point of the team, so everything pivots off of him. That's the plan anyway. Doesn't always work out, but when it does, it works really well. Jones with the throw into Bobo. Knocks it back to Jones. I'm not sure whether I'm a fan of Bobo dropping that far deep either, because he's pushing Forster Kaski back as well, which In some ways it's good because we crowd out their attack, but in other ways it's bad because if they then get the ball past that crowd, we've got no one else to help defend it. That's the only time really where it's a pain. Again, I'm probably being a bit too picky. I think it's something that I could change in the tactics window rather than, you know, demand that the game be fixed because there's a bug. I don't think there's a bug at all. I think it's more down to my tactics than anything. I was a bit worried as to why Cartwright had left that then, but Quintana came out and got it, and then thankfully got back on his line in time to save that effort from Fogden. Very bold effort that, because if it goes wrong you look a bit of an idiot, but if it goes right you make the keeper look a bit of an idiot. And luckily Fogden didn't look like an idiot, and neither did Quintana. He got back in time. That was unlucky. Wilson with the shot, which was blocked. Good little layoff there for the defender to get it clear, but it's only as far as Jones. And again, we'll never know where that ball ended up. I know it's only the 55th minute, but I'm going to make a sub. First thing I'm going to do is swap Carino back with Beckhold. And now I'm actually going to bring Thompson on and play him in the hole where Bobo is. Because, see, he's only got a match rating of 6.5 and he's not the best condition-wise. So, with the exceptions of Stevens and Jones, he's actually our worst performing player. Tied with Forster Kasky, actually. So I might have to look at that one as well. So yeah, we'll make the sub. We'll bring on Thompson, because Thompson has a habit of scoring long ranges, and he also has a habit of scoring winners. So that's what we're looking for in this match. We need a winning goal. Although, having said that, offside flag. I was going to say Bobo nearly got us that goal, in which case I'd have had to quickly cancel the substitutions, because ideally I'd like to keep him on. It's a bit late now, because the substitution has indeed been made, and Bobo has come off and Thompson has come on. Right, kick from Ashdown. Good header from Villa, again in the air. Very, very strong. Murdoch nearly dispossessed by Wilson. I think Gillingham are starting to grow into the game a lot more now, actually, since half-time. Even though they got the goal in the first half, it's only been after half-time that they've started to stretch themselves a bit more. And I enjoy these games more. 8-0 wins look good. You know, there's a lot of action and a lot of goals, but I like close games. I find them more entertaining. I don't know whether that's just me. If anyone else feels like that as well. Where it can go either way. It's on an absolute knife edge, and you've got your heart in your mouth 1 minute, and then you're cheering your team on to score in the next minute. It's very, very exciting. Being a Stevenage fan, that happens quite a lot at the moment, so that's probably why. Penalty. Connor Cody fouling David Stevens. I noticed again Wilson being our set piece man whenever no one else is on the pitch. I remember I said a few videos ago actually about Villa and McGregor being our set piece takers. Since I made that video, we'll watch Villa take this penalty first, and he does put it away. But since I made that video, I looked through the list again of all our players and how good they are at set pieces, and actually, Villa and McGregor are very far down the list in terms of how good they are at free kicks and corners. So I've done a bit of jigging around. Villa still takes our penalties, as you can see. He's one of our best penalty takers. But apart from that, he's dropped right down the list. I think he's about 5th or 6th on the corner list now, and even lower on the free kicks. So I don't actually know what I was doing when I put them as my set piece takers. Obviously I was wrong, so I've corrected that mistake now. Right, Quintana with a very long kick forward straight to Ashdown. I'm still waiting for one of those to bounce over the keeper's head and go in. I don't really know what I'll do if that happens actually. I'll be very pleased to start with. Apart from that, I think I'll just celebrate it like any other goal really. Not a lot you can do. It's one of those unfortunate ones where you really want to go mental, but you don't want to disrespect the opponent's keeper at the same time. So you try and keep it dignified as best you can. That was unlucky. Good effort from Beckhold, which was saved by Ashdown, and then he tried to cut the ball back across to the run of Carino, and Ashdown managed to get his hands on it again. And again, Villa winning the ball in the air. His match rating has not reflected his performance, I don't think. He's only scored 6.8, yet I'm pretty sure every time we've seen him jump for a header, he's won it. 99%, I'd say, if not 100. And that's very good. Considering he's a right back and he's not the tallest player on the pitch, it's really good that he's winning those headers. And Jones on the other side, apart from ball watching for their goal, he's been pretty strong as well. He certainly helped the team's cause, that's for sure. and he's only scored 6.6. So again, I think that's a bit harsh. That could be because of his mistake for the goal, though. So in that case, maybe it's a little bit more justified. So what we are now, the 88th minute, not 88th, 83rd minute. Now it's the 88th minute. Make a couple more subs, waste a bit of time. Bring Klopmas on for Villa. In fact, we'll bring Hutchinson on for Jones, and then we'll swap those two over. So Klopmas at left back, Hutchinson at right back. That'll waste some time, and it'll also shore up our defence for the last few minutes, if that sub's made. Poor ball there from Jones. Kind of glad he's coming off. He looks like he's definitely getting tired. Cartwright winning the header. Carrinho's going to keep that in. And actually, we got a little counter-attack on our hands here, I think. Have we? Can he get the ball across? He does to Mantum. Good volley off the crossbar. And Carrinho just couldn't quite get there in time. But Forster-Caskey has intercepted the clearance. Not the greatest cross from him. And a poor crossfield pass there from Mantum. Left via very, very short there. 4 minutes of it injury time we need to hold on for. I'm pretty sure we can. I mean, I think Gillingham have only had 3 extra shots since their goal and only 1 on target. So if Fogden doesn't bring something out here, no, we haven't really got much to worry about these last 2 minutes. We've had 18 shots, 6 on target, so that's, what, 33 and a third? Not 33 and a third percent, I should say. 33.33333 for those mathematicians out there. A third. We've had a third of our shots on target, which is good, I suppose. I'd like to see that figure higher. Maybe around the 10 mark. You look at the quality of our players. God, that was lucky. That was really poor. Was that from Stevens or was that from Hutchinson, who just played it across the front of our box there? That was quite dangerous. But yeah, with the quality of players we've got, I'd like to have more shots on target. Especially from, I think our midfielders could provide more in terms of a goal threat. Because apart from balls into the box and the occasional run forward, I don't think they actually provide that much. A lot of our goals do come from our strikers, which, yeah, I guess you'd kind of expect. But in modern football, especially with teams like Chelsea, very, very rarely do their goals come from their strikers. They mainly come from the front three, just behind the striker. And that's kind of what I wanted from this team. But as you can see from the scoreline, one of our goals came from our striker and the other one was scored by our right back. However, it was a penalty. So you could say he's got the unfair advantage there in that it is a penalty. Ideally, I'd like more goals to come from players like Mantum, who he has been scoring recently, but I think he can bring a few more out. And they could do with providing a couple more goals as well. And again, that's an area where they've been lacking. But it doesn't affect us in this match because we are through to the final. We have beaten Gillingham 2-1. I think we could have won by a couple more goals, again judging by the number of shots we had on target, but we have won. So it is normally at this point where I thank you very much for watching and I move on to the next episode. However, as I said at the start, this is the 100th episode, so you're almost going to get a behind the scenes view here because we're going to go through the news screen, which you guys don't normally get to see. Things like we've been awarded 15 grand for beating Gillingham, which I think pays Mantum's wages for the week, so that's not too bad. And again, you very rarely get to see this screen. You see again J. Emmanuel Thomas, who I mentioned a few episodes ago, joining us in January for 1.8 million. Not all of that's up front. I can't remember how much. I think it's 300 up front and then 1.5 million over 4 years or something. That's another trick for you guys, actually. I'll point this one out to you. You see, Emmanuel Thomas is worth 2.4 million. However, he was transfer listed, so I've only got him for 1.8. What you then do, I think, here, yeah, you can see it's got the offer and it's going through. That's his asking price, so I met his asking price, but I did it in a way that I split the fee over a certain amount of time. So in my case, I normally do it over 48 months. What that means is it takes very little out of your transfer budget. So although you're paying a set amount every month for up to 48 months, it doesn't actually affect your transfer budget too much. So you can make a record signing and still have enough money left to make more signings. Whereas if you spent the lot on one go, so if I bought Emmanuel Thomas for 1.8 as a flat fee, that would now be down at 1.2 million. As you can see, it's still up at 3.9 or 3.09. So I've got a lot left in the bank to make more signings if I need to. That's a little tip for you guys. It's a bit dangerous if you've got a team where financially they're not at their strongest. But apart from that, if you've got a team like Chelsea and you want to sign a player for 20 million, just do it like 10 million up front and then 10 million over 2 years or something like that. It's what clubs do in real life. They don't necessarily say it in the media, but players like Gareth Bale, £86 million. If anyone out there is thinking that Spurs received 86 million in a single payment, you're wrong. It's just, that's unfeasible. No club has that kind of money just sitting around waiting to be spent. What would have happened was, say, I don't know, 30 million of that might have been up front. So a flat payment of £30 million. And then over the next, say, 5 years, the rest of the money will be paid. And also the media don't say this, but that will include things like league appearances, league goals, and if they win like La Liga or the Copa del Rey, there'll be a bonus that goes towards that fee as well. So obviously I don't know the full ins and outs because I'm not an employee of either club, nor am I Gareth Bale's agent, but I'm sure the actual fee itself was actually a lot less than 86 million. Same with Ronaldo when he went to Real Madrid. Same with the Neymar thing that's going on at the moment. Overall, it's 101 million, which technically would make it the world record. But because a lot of it is actually payments to Neymar himself and various other organisations associated with him, the actual fee sort of gets lost in all the numbers that are getting thrown around. So that's not the actual amount of money that's been paid for him. It's money that's been paid to him plus money paid for him. And even then, I don't think the full amount's been disclosed. So it's a real. I don't understand why football is the only real business where everything has to be undisclosed. Why they can't just publicise how much they've paid for this, that, and the other. I don't see why it has to be so secretive. Maybe it's because of the outrage of the amount of money being spent on what is basically a human being. That is what you're doing. You are buying someone. It's almost like slavery, but for lots more money, if that makes sense. Probably going to get myself into trouble saying things like that, but that's how I see it anyway. Right. Rotherham. We have got Rotherham at home. This is the second of 4 matches, and because we're playing 4 matches relatively close together, so I'm actually going to shake up the squad a little bit if I can. So, we had Quintana in goal for the last game. You can see O'Brien's had a run out this season, but I'm actually going to... not O'Brien, sorry, King's had a run out this season, but I'm going to put O'Brien in goal. I'm then going to put Yanaris at right back. I'm then going to put Warnock at left back, because we haven't seen him for a little while. And then centre backs, I think Hogan on the left side and Robinson on the right side, because these are 2 players who we very, very rarely get to see. In fact, I think Robinson more than Hogan, but only because Robinson appears on the bench. But yeah, that's our back 4 plus our goalkeeper. Midfield, I think we should have McGregor, maybe, or no, Delamond on the right. Saville on the left. It's a bit of a risk, I know, but it's no fun if you just play it safe all the time. We're then going to have Lawrence on the left. Going to have Drewson on the right. And we're going to have Johnston through the centre. And then up front, we are going to have Francois. So it's a very, very shaken up team. And then on the bench, we're going to have Quintana. We are going to have Hutchinson. We're going to have Klopmas. We are going to have McConnor. Marshall. Bobo. That's my phone, if anyone heard that. And we're going to have Morrison. So before I start the match, I'm actually going to put my phone on silent, because that's a schoolboy error. There we go. Right. Let's get into the match. So that's our team. We've got very, very rotated lineup, and a pretty strong bench. most of our first teamers are on the bench. So if anything does go wrong, we got 3 chances to correct ourselves and make it right. So we won't be out of it. Now, Rotherham, they're number 10, Tim Payne. I know I keep saying that I want to sign him and things like that. Kind of need to throw my hands up in the air here and make a small admittance. Between episodes, I might have taken a small look at his stats and realised that actually he's not really good enough to play for us anymore. So I think all attempts to sign him have now been abandoned. I did have another cheeky bid for him between episodes, which got rejected. So I think, the chase for Payne is pretty much finished. We got more than enough players who can play in his position. Players like Lawrence who don't even get a look in. So in the interest of fairness to them, as well as fairness to Payne, because it's unfair signing him and then leaving him out. Apart from Lawrence being offside and then missing what was basically an open goal, maybe I will bring in Payne after all, if Lawrence is going to miss chances like that. But then maybe he's missed those chances because he doesn't play very often, which sort of summed up the point I was about to make. It'd be unfair on him and on Payne if I was to bring him in and then neither of them ended up getting played, because actually that's Beckhold's role. So like I said, the efforts to sign Payne, it would have been fun if I'd got him in because of the whole FIFA connection, and I do still chase after him on FIFA. For those of you who've watched the Lazarus project, you'd have seen that I've got Payne on there again. So he's a good player on there, but again, I think I have more control over his destiny on that game, so I can make him better by playing him more in that role. Whereas on here, he slips down the order quite a lot. So yeah, we're not signing Payne, is what I'm trying to say. We're not going to be signing Payne. I should focus more on the match, because it's been a little bit going on. Bit of a midfield battle going on there, which Savile's just lost out to Fisher, and Fisher's played in grey. And that's a good block from Hogan, I believe that was. And it's gone behind for a corner, which Payne will take, funnily enough. Floated to the front post. 5 defenders, I think, on our team were around it, and they couldn't even head it forwards. It's gone out for another corner, which is taken again by Payne. And again, he swings it in more towards the centre of the goal. I believe that's Nikola Zigic playing up front for Rotherham. If it is, wow, because we're in League 2 and he was at Birmingham. In fact, I think he still is at Birmingham in real life, and he was once their record signing. So it's a bit of a fall from grace if that's true, because he was playing in Europe not long before he joined Birmingham. And even when he was at Birmingham, I think he played in Europe when they qualified for the Europa League. So bit of a shock. Again, I imagine it'll be a loan, because he's on quite high wages, and all respect to Rotherham, I don't think many League 2 teams, with the exception of us and maybe a League 1 team that have dropped down, don't think they have the wage budget to cover Zigic's wages. So I'm sure it's just a loan deal, like 20% of his wages or 50% at a push, something like that. I'm looking at the stats and it's a bit alarming. We've had 64% possession, there or thereabouts. However, 0 shots, whereas Rotherham have only had 30% odd, between 30 and 40, let's say. And they've had 2 shots, one of which on target. Delamond trying to rectify things, but he puts his free kick over the bar, so at least that's a shot, even if it wasn't on target. Passes completed, we're in the 70s, so that's not too bad. Tackles 1, we're in the 80s. Mind you, Rotherham of 100%. Headers 1, only 56%, and crosses completed is 0. So yeah, cause for concern. But then if you direct your attention to the league table in bottom left corner there, you'll see that we are actually top of the league by 5 points with a game in hand over, guess who? Rotherham. So we're not at an absolute loss. That was a bit of a risk there from Robinson. Took it off the foot of Zigic and then actually caused them to have a shot, which, although it went wide, it could have been dangerous. So maybe make sure that he doesn't do that again. Feels, although the team feels solid, it feels very loosely solid, if that makes sense. I mean, we scored there. Francois scoring. But yeah, I just feel like there's a loose connection going on somewhere. Having said that, that was a good ball through from Johnston. Little reverse pass there. Francois clearly onside, and a good little flick over the keeper. What worried me was the link up with Savile and I think it was it Hogan or Robinson just before that, where it looked like either one of them could give the ball away, and if they had, we'd have been stuffed because there was no one behind covering. So whoever won it for them would have been straight through on goal. That was not a good ball forward from Warnock. Played it miles behind Lawrence, who had no chance of getting onto it whatsoever. However, almost rectified his mistake until he lost out there to Fisher. Robinson tracking forward. Hogan was covering, but decided not to actually get the ball, and now he's missed his challenge there. He got it right there, but it came back off Robinson, and it's volleyed into the back of the net by Ryan Mason, who, young guy at Tottenham. I think he's on loan at Swindon at the moment. He's actually a good player as well. So, again, if anyone's scouting at the moment, if they've got a League 1 or a League 2 team and they're struggling to look for players, drop me a message or drop me a comment, and I can do special videos where I show you guys who's good and who's not good to sign. Most of the players I do sign on my test careers and even on this career, free transfers. So at some point a really good player will become a free transfer. I can show you guys when that happens. Players in our team like Tom Lawrence, I think we got on a free transfer. Warnock we got on a free. Maybe not Warnock, he's a bit optimistic. I think because of our reputation we signed him. Players like Yanaris and even Mason becomes a free transfer at the end of this season, I believe it is actually. It might be the season prior. So he might actually be a permanent player at Rotherham. Might check that out afterwards. There's a couple of other players, so I'll show you guys. My test career, remember, I play as Portsmouth, and the fact that I managed to sign these players, if you've got a budget slightly bigger than Portsmouth's, you'll be able to sign all of these players, no problems whatsoever. So yeah, like I said, drop me a comment or a message, and I'll do a special video for you guys where I show you who's good and who's not good to sign for different league teams. In the meantime, in this match, we've lost our clean sheet, as you saw. Shots-wise, they've had 2 more shots than us and an extra shot on target. And you see here Payne threatening. Oh, O'Brien almost kept out Zigic's shot, but it came off the post and crept over the line. So actually we've gone from being 1-0 up to 2-1 down in the space of 9 minutes, which is not very good. It wasn't even that good a volley, it was just a poor save, I think. Quintarco, I reckon, would have caught that and held on to it. O'Brien, maybe again it's the rustiness and lack of match time, but he didn't do himself any favours there. And that is a really poor pass from Warnock. I think it gets to the stage where you can't use rustiness as an excuse, because okay, they're not playing matches, agreed, but they're training in the same training environments as the other players, and they seem to make it okay without any stupid mistakes. So again, I think it's just an excuse, lack of match practice, because you do the same training schedules. So what difference does it make whether you play in a match or not? You still know the drill, you still know how to make the move. It shouldn't make a difference whether you put it into practice this week or next week. It should still be the same tactics. So yeah, I think that's just an excuse. And Saville has to boot the ball into the crowd because we're really under pressure now. Maybe the risk I took in putting out a slightly weakened team is actually starting to backfire on us. Going to make a sub at half time. First of all, I'm going to move Lawrence back onto his wing and Drewson back onto his. Delamond, I'm thinking of bringing off, or maybe, actually I think Saville should come off. And I'm going to stick, this is going to be interesting because I've never played, to my knowledge and my memory, I've never played Bobo and Delamond next to each other. I've played Bobo in front and I've played Delamond in front. It'd be interesting to see how they do when they're next to each other. Maybe I can make it a feature where I just keep swapping them over every now and then and see if that changes anything. For now though, they're going to play side by side, and we'll see if we can get back into the game through that. Because we really could do with winning this game, especially as we've got the game in hand as well. So if we win this one, let's see, Rotherham lose 2 points. No, they lose 3 points, sorry. So they'll go down to 39. And we'll gain 3 points, so we'll go up to 47. So it's quite a gap that opens up if we win. Unfortunately, we are losing. And we've just picked up an injury to Yanaris, so we're going to have to make a sub. And I'm guessing it's going to have to be Klopmas who comes on. What minute are we in? 53rd. So we've got one sub left, and we've got 37 minutes left to play. And I think our last sub has to be an offensive sub. We need to push further up the pitch and make more of our possession. So I think our defence is shaky, but if we score more goals than them, then we win, basically. So, yeah, we need to score. I'm just wondering who it is I could change. Maybe if I bring Francois off and put Morrison on, but then Francois scored our goal. Maybe Lawrence off and put Johnston. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe bring Lawrence off, put Morrison on, move Johnston onto the left-hand side, move Francois back, and then play Morrison as the lone striker. I think that could work. I think I've done that in the past as well. Maybe not with Johnston, but I've put Francois behind a striker before, because he can play the cam role. Is that goal onside? I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. Golson. Yeah, Golson. Offside. Again, worrying, because had that ball been played a fraction earlier, I think it would have been onside. So we've got to be careful there, because we're leaving ourselves exposed in set pieces. Drewson with the clever ball down the wing. Johnston with the cross. Francois, yes, he finishes it. We are level, guys. We have done it. 56 minutes, coming up to 57, and we have equalised. And actually, that was probably our best move of the game. Good ball from Warnock. Very clever ball here from Drewson. Johnston using his pace. Pulled it back across goal. Perfectly weighted. Francois with the left foot past the keeper into the bottom corner. Can't complain with that. Very, very good finish. So, 60 minutes. We've got 30 minutes to go. We're back in the game. Back level. Good save there from O'Brien. It worries me now, though, because I've seen him make 2 mistakes, that any shot they have could potentially go in. And especially when we've worked so hard to draw level. Headers like that from Fisher, if they go in and we go 3-2 down, it's very, very demoralising. And the thing I'm most worried about is that could actually deflate the rest of the team, and our performance overall suffers because of that. Zigic on the ball, played into Mason. Again, O'Brien with that. Actually, he caught that pretty well. Played that one quite calmly, considering. Right, I'm talking about bringing Lawrence off. 67th minute. I think it's go time. So, I was going to bring off... I was going to bring on Morrison. Instead, I'm going to bring on Marshall and play him down that left-hand side, because believe it or not, I play him on the right every single game, but he's actually left-footed. So, to play him down that left-hand side and put Drewson on that right-hand side again, because he keeps swapping over for some reason, and I'm not entirely sure why. But he'll be very dangerous down that left-hand side. If he can make fast runs down the wing and then deliver the ball across the box, we could see a hat-trick from Francois, because he's actually got a very good match rating. He scored 2 very, very good goals. So I think it would be a bit harsh to suddenly take him out of the firing line. Even though he's still on the pitch, he won't be scoring. So you see he's done well there to pick up that ball from Drewson's poor pass. Delamond into Bobo, to Drewson. Johnston to Francois. He went for the dink to the far post, and it didn't quite work out. He just didn't get good enough connection. But this result still plays into our hands. We're still 5 points clear. If we score a winner, we go 2 points further up, and Rotherham drop a point, so we go 8 points clear, I believe, with a game in hand. So we could potentially be 11 points clear if we win that one. Considering we had a good start against Tranmere, but then we dropped off a little bit. We had a couple of draws where we should have won. So actually, it puts us in a very, very good position. Need Francois to stay on side if he can help it. Get him in a decent scoring position. He's made 2 good runs and scored 2 good goals, so you can't criticise him for that. He's given it his all out there. I knew he'd come good at some point, because he has scored for us in the past, but not what I would call convincing goals. They've sort of been tap-ins or rebounds, little things like that. I I think this is the first match where he's actually scored proper team goals that have fallen to him. In the first goal especially, he had a little bit of work to do because he had to run it past the defender and then finish it. And he did really well. Right. Judging by the fact that Marshall is back on the right hand side, I'm going to say that Drewson is on the left. So I'm going to swap that again. Oh no, Drewson is on the right. So why was Marshall on the right? I don't know. Maybe they just swapped back. You can also see Bobo's picked up a bit of an injury, which isn't too good. I can't do much. I'm not going to bring him off because then that's us down to 10 men. There's only 8 minutes left, so he's more good to us out on the pitch than he is sat on the bench with an ice pack, I think. Even if we lose him for the next game, at least we can bring someone in legitimately and replace him, because we can't do that now because we've made all 3 subs. Again, a poor ball there from Johnston, and it could cost us. Hogan's sliding in on Mason. He's already been booked, so that's probably going to be a red card. Second booking. Yep, there it is. Hogan's second yellow, and he's off. So after all that, that's a really disappointing end to the game, and I hope that doesn't mean we end up losing. So we'll have a little bit of a reshuffle. We'll go for not that one. That one. We're actually going to play... Where's Bobo? There he is. We're going to play him up front alongside Francois. We're going to swap these 2 back over. We're going to have 3 at the back. And we're basically going to push for the win now. We got nothing. I say we got nothing to lose. Of course we've got something to lose. We've got a match to lose. But we will still be 2 points ahead with a game in hand. So providing we win that game, we can recover. But at this stage of the match, you want to push forward for the win when you're in a drawing position. Because actually we got plenty of players in our team who can make a difference even when we're down to 10 men. Little passes like that from Francois don't help. And that could end up costing us the game. O'Brien with a good save though, fortunately for us. Yeah, I want us to push forward and try and win the game. I've always said that I'll never sit back unless I absolutely have to, and I stand by that. There's no need for us to sit back. We want to win the game, we want to push forward, we want to open the gap at the top of the league, so we're going to go and do that. We're not going to sit back and defend it and go 5 points. 5 points? Yeah, 5 points clear. I want to go 7 points clear. Or 8 points clear, isn't it? 8 points. Bobo plays it down the line. Francois should keep that in, and does. He tucks it inside to Delamond, inside again to Johnston. Drewson. So again, another poor pass, and I don't know why Delamond couldn't chase that one down himself, because actually, that ball was more to him than it was to Warnock. Now that might be a glitch in the game, or something not right. And again, Bobo could have challenged for that one, but I'll let him off because he is injured. But any other player in that position, I'd expect to at least challenge for the ball. You know, Robinson there should have... Not Robinson, who was that? I don't know. Whoever that was should have challenged for the ball. That was offside, I guess, against Zigic. We got just over a minute left. I really want to see us push forward and at least have another shot on goal. You know, it was a good header there from Marshall, and maybe if Bobo wasn't injured, he'd have had the pace to get on the end of that. Sadly, though, he didn't, so it just went into the keeper's hands. Right, Noel on the ball. Klotmus actually beat Zigic in the air. He didn't that time though, and that's come back to him. Oh, it's okay, he scuffed it wide. Actually, again, this game is not over. There's still a good, 20 seconds left in it? It doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon, so come on guys, keep pushing forward. Try and get the goal. Win the header. Pump it forward. Right, Bobo on the ball, into Francois. Now it ends. Just when we're on the counter-attack, the referee decides to end the match. Brilliant. But yeah, okay, 2-2 draw. Disappointing, but we've got our first team basically fit and ready for the next match. Hogan's going to get another fine, if it lets me, because I'm pretty fed up of my players getting sent off for 2 yellows. You see, we've been fined for failing to control our players. 6 yellow cards. Excuse me, in that match, 2 of them to Hogan. Fans not happy, manager's not happy, I'm not happy at all. So yeah, again, you have to be really quick. You have to physically go into the setting yourself and to fine him for being sent off. Otherwise, it just says you have decided not to fine him. Right, Bobo's out for between 2 to 3 weeks with a groin strain, so actually maybe that explains why he wasn't going too fast. Yanaris has sprained his ankle, so he's out for 4 to 5 weeks, which is also not good. Right, we're going to set up for defending set pieces for Rotherham. Not Rotherham, sorry, Rochdale, because we fell foul of that for the Rotherham game. We'll just wait for this to skip through here. If it lets me. There we go. See Rochdale coming up in 4 days' time, but we'll skip through those days as quick as possible and we'll get into it. We're actually coming up to, what was it, 53 minutes now, guys. This is a very long episode. I thought it might be less than an hour if things sped up and went our way, but they don't seem to be, so apologies if no one wants to sit and watch an hour-long episode. If people enjoy doing these, then I might consider them doing them more often, but this is, in my head at the moment at least, a one-off. So I hope, you know, I like doing the 20-minute episodes because you fit one match in and you do the pre-match talk and you do the post-match talk. Try and get it in as quick as possible. And personally, when I'm watching these videos as well, I like watching shorter videos, but not too short. So 20 minutes is about right for me. Right. Again, we got lots of scouting updates, and you can see some of the players they're recommending to me. Players like Mohamed Bangura, who was at Celtic, I think, or is at Celtic. But as much as I like him, I think he's a little too far out of my price range, and I know that sounds weird considering I've got, I think it's like 100 grand a week still to spend on players' wages, but however much I spend on him now, say 26,000 a week or whatever, he's going to want 25% more, or somewhere between 10 and 25% more next season, and then he's going to want the same again the season after, and the season after. And before long, you're paying him like 80 grand a week, and you know, this club's finances, although they're healthy at the moment, they're only going to get worse as the seasons go on because players are going to be wanting more and more money to stay. That's the reason why I said it at the start, and I mean it now. The money is not to spend necessarily. It is there purely to keep the club floating. It's there so we don't go into liquidation, it's there so we don't go into administration, and it's there so we don't get a points deduction, because that will affect us more than anything. So it's there so that if we do want to sign a player, we can. It's not a problem, but we have to factor in potential wage changes over the next 2 to 3 years, especially as our stadium still is quite small compared to most in our league. That will get bigger. We will have to ground share with other teams whilst that is being made bigger, but even then I reckon it'll only be about 20,000 by the time we get in the Premiership, so gotta be careful. Alright, we are at home now against Rochdale. And we've learnt from our mistakes in the last episode. Not last episode, sorry, last match. However, Quintaka is ineligible because he's on international duty. So we're going to have King in goal. I assume he's on international duty anyway. So after all that, we're actually going to have a very, very threadbare squad again, which is not very good. I'm guessing it'll have to be Hutchinson at right back. Warnock at left back. We've got Stevens, so that's okay. So we'll have him at right centre back, and then I guess we'll have to have Robinson at left centre back. We scroll down a little bit. McGregor's okay, so we can have him in the team again. Good to have him back. And Manton, we've still got. We have also got Beckhold has not been called up, which is very strange, but he can go in at left midfield. Right midfield, we can have Carino. And then centre midfield, or centre attacking midfield, I think John Rooney. Again, we've left him out for a long time. And players like Douglas Pringle as well. Look, he hasn't played for us for yonks. So we'll have to give him a run again soon. Maybe in the 4th match. And then, yeah, Morrison up front, I think. And then a bench. This is going to be interesting. It's going to have to be Ben in goal. Partridge fact, let's put Partridge in the starting lineup instead of Robinson, and then we've got a centre back and a right back on the bench then. And then I think Saville. Let's put Douglas Pringle. And then we could have Rooney. I was forced to cast... No. Luke Rooney. And then we'll have Johnston. And... I'll put Lawrence instead of Johnston. And... Peter Wilson. Scored on his return, so we'll put him back on the bench. See how he gets on. Okay, game 3. If you look at Rochdale's lineup, they've gone for a very interesting formation of 4-2-2-2, literally in a straight line. So they've got 2 defence mids, so I guess that will stifle Rooney out of the game. They've got 2 centre mids, which will probably stifle McGregor and Manton. And then they've got the 2 strikers, which could cause Partridge and Stevens problems. However, with the exceptions of Reckford and Rafferty, Hutchinson, Warnock, Beckhold and Carino have free rein down these sides. And if Morrison sort of sits in that gap as well, that could actually mean Rooney plays more in this gap, and then the 2 centre midfielders will play in this gap here. And we could have a bit of space to pass the ball around if we play this properly. So I'm hoping that the lads are smart enough to sort of work that out. If not, we'll just have to run down the wing a lot and put a lot of crosses in, which is not a bad backup plan. We can always go for a 4-4-2 formation as well if need to, so we'll have 2 strikers to cause their centre-backs even more problems. And had that ball been played slightly better into the path of Carino, we could have been looking at a good opportunity. This doesn't even count as our game in hand either, so at some point after this match we're still going to have a chance to stretch our lead at the top over Rotherham and Bristol Rovers, who seem to have caught them up as well. And after that it's a 2-point gap back to Mansfield, so even for automatic promotion we're looking good. I'd like to still think we can win the league. We've won 2 league titles so far, as you saw from the intro to this video, so to win a 3rd consecutive league title, especially when you're going up through the leagues as well, that's quite impressive. I don't think that's ever been done before either. I'm pretty sure it's not been done 2 consecutive league titles in 2 separate leagues. I can't think off the top of my head of any team that have done it. There's obviously been consecutive promotions, but most of the time that comes through the playoffs, or you know, the automatic promotion that isn't the title winning position. Right, Hogan thought he'd scored there, but the offside flag was up, so we got away with that one slightly. I don't think Warnock fits into our team very well. You see how easily he gets knocked down, and he doesn't pick out the passes that I'd like him to. Hutchinson is in a lot of space on that right hand side, and no one on our team seems to be picking him up. They keep going out to Warnock, and then he just turns and passes it backwards. So proactively and productively we're not actually getting anywhere. That's the one time Warnock's kicked it forwards and the ball still ended up going backwards. McGregor with a better delivery to Beckhold, but he shot wide. Wasn't really a shooting position there, I don't think. It was more of a cross it in and see what happens kind of position. Bristol Rovers have taken the lead against somebody. I don't actually know who they're playing against, but they've come to 3 points behind us. Mansfield have also taken the lead against somebody. They're playing Morecambe, and they're 1-0 up against Morecambe. So actually Rotherham have dropped 2 places. They now sit in 4th on 40 points. So maybe they could actually be losing in that case, which isn't very good for them, and doesn't actually affect us that much either, because now we've got Bristol and Mansfield to worry about. So, you know, can't be complacent. If we were 8 points clear at this point, we could relax a tiny bit, but not too much. However, we are not. We are only 3 points clear, and Rochdale are making all the movements at the moment, so we really do have to watch our backs and be careful, because we can get caught out very easily, and then we'll have a battle on our hands which we might not necessarily be able to win. No disrespect to King, but obviously he is not our first choice keeper, and the fact that we haven't really got a strong backup on the bench either, it puts the pressure on him even more. Players like Manton I expect to step up to the plate, because especially with him being our record signing as well. There's a lot of pressure on him already, so he should be able to handle that and cope with that. Players like Rooney want to see impressive performances from, because bloody hell. Okay, that was a good goal from Courinho. I'm pretty sure that was a cross, but it has ended up in the back of the net, so I'll take that. 1-0 up. Slightly fluky circumstances, let's say. Good ball from Rooney into that space that Courinho was running into. That was definitely a far post cross, looking for either Morrison or Beckhole, and instead it landed in the back of the net, so can't complain. And that's half time as well. Half time subs. If I was to bring anybody off, it would be Beckhole, because condition wise he's not doing very good, and ability wise or match rating wise he's not doing very good either. But I think it's a little too early to flinch on that one at this stage, so start the second half and see how he gets on. I'll give him 5-10 minutes maybe before I'll consider making a substitution. I don't think he's actually been brought into the game that much as well, and to be honest, that's more Warnock's fault, because whenever Warnock gets the ball, he keeps passing it backwards rather than forwards, whereas really he should be looking to knock it down the wing to Beckhole. And even there, Rooney's taken his place. And then there's Warnock, and he's passed it backwards to McGregor. Ball into Manton, across to Hutchinson, down the line to Beckhole. And he did score, but he was offside, which that's his fault. He should be watching the line, especially as he's the position where he is there. Way the ball gets played into him, he's actually looking across the line to see where the ball's coming from, so he should be making sure 100% that he is onside. There's no excuse for being flagged in those sorts of areas. So we need to see more from him. We're coming up to a part of the match where I tend to make substitutions, and I'm looking at McGregor as well, who's not doing brilliantly out there. Having said that, Beckhole did well to win the ball back there, and he's taken it there, and a clever to Courinho, through from Morrison, back to Beckhole. See, straight at the keeper. Either side of the keeper, and that could have been 2-0. But you can't take away from the fact that was very, very good build-up play. And shots-wise, Rochdale have had 2 and 2, which I believe they had at half-time. We're now 8 and 4, so we've definitely improved. In possession-wise, 63% to 37. We are dominating this match. And there's Courinho again, nearly scoring a fluky goal, and we've won another corner from it, which I think McGregor's now taking. Yes, he is. He goes near post towards Morrison, comes out to Partridge. Bit of a edgy pass there from Partridge, but McGregor did keep it in, but we don't know what's happening now. Right, 76 minutes. We're going to make some subs. First of all, we're going to bring Rooney on, and we're going to bring Beckhole off. Second of all, we're going to bring McGregor off, and we're actually going to bring Douglas Pringle on, because I think it's about time. I remember I dropped him after he got sent off stupidly in a match, so I think it's about time to bury the hatchet, because I'm pretty sure that was 2 seasons ago actually he did that as well, so it's only fair that he gets a chance as well. Everybody in my team gets a chance. If they screw it up though, it'll be a while before they get another one. Right, McGregor to Manton, across to Hutchinson, down the line to Courinho. Good play from him. He pulls it back to Manton, squares it for McGregor, dinks it into Beckhole. Good first touch, got it out from under his feet and away from the defender, but then hit it straight into the side netting, which not good. And I think our subs are being made now. Yep, there you go. Douglas Pringle on and Luke Rooney on as well. So we've got both Rooneys out there. I believe these two are cousins, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And they are both related to Wayne. So I don't know whether the family connection would rub off and they'd score an overhead kick from the edge of the box or something like that. Probably not, if I'm honest. Douglas Pringle with the effort there that goes just wide. I say just wide, very optimistically. It went a long way wide. I don't know why I said just wide. Force of habit, I think. I'm used to seeing players knock it just past the post. That was not just past the post. That was nearly past the corner flag. Not a good effort from him. So we're still 1-0 up, going into the twilight part of the game. I'm going to make one more sub, just to waste a bit of time. I'm going to bring Lawrence on, and I'm going to bring Carino off. Give him a rest because he's done well this match. Scored the goal, of course, and he did well the match before last as well. Just as I do that, Luke Rooney goes and gets himself injured. Although he's got 82% out there still. 84% now, so actually he's not too bad. And I'm sure as he swaps wings with Lawrence, they'll take it in turns to whichever side's easiest and hardest, so I think he'll be okay. I'm a bit disappointed we haven't made more of the wings, actually. I was saying it just before kickoff about how we could make attacks down the sides, and we haven't really exploited that. And that's why I'm disappointed with Warnock, because so many times he could have knocked it down the line to Beckhold, and instead he turned and passed it backwards, and I sort of want to know why, because all these chances coming up, and he's just not taking them. Right, let's see what happens from this corner. Douglas Pringle's going to take it, drills it to the near post to Morrison, and I have no idea what Morrison was trying to do there, but whatever it was, it goes out for a goal kick, which, not very good. 3 minutes of injury time. Throw in for Warnock, and of course he throws it backwards. Douglas Pringle back to Warnock, crosses it in. Very, very easy that one for the defender. Right, we're into the 91st minute, and there's 3 minutes of added time. And now we're in the 2nd minute of added time. I think we can see this one out. I really hope we can see this one out. Good solid passing down the wing, and just as I say that, Rooney gives it away. Does well to win it back there. Finds Manton to Morrison. Rooney again playing with fire, I think there's the best way of saying it. Taking huge risks. Warnock there as well, maybe trying to get Rafferty sent off, who knows, and again. But I think Rafferty's a better player than that. He's not going to fall for that trick. Made 2 good challenges there. And then in the end we force a throw in, which Hutchinson will take. And I think it's been made clear in this game, but I'm happier to see the ball go down the right hand side at the moment than the left, because it's just not happening for us down the left hand side. The goal came from the right hand side, of course, Carino making that run and cross. Most of our attacks have come from the right hand side, because I mean, look at that. Warnock gets the ball in a really good crossing position, tries to pull it back and gives it away. And luckily the offside flag was up. If not, Hayes was in on goal basically, because Partridge isn't going to bring him down there because that's a straight red card. Luckily for us though, we have won. It's only 1-0. Doesn't really do our reputation any good because we won ugly, really. It was a fluky goal. We defended poorly. We attacked very, very poorly down that left-hand side. We rode our luck a lot, but we got away with it. And we won 1-0. So that's match 3 out the way. And so far, it's been... what's it been? A draw and 2 wins. So, you know, it could be worse. It could be 3 losses so far, or 3 draws, because they're worse than losses, really. So what have we got? Luke Rooney out for 3 weeks. Yeah, I'll just leave him to the physio. I very rarely use the injection, because you end up with a very angry player wondering why he was forced to go through pain-killing injections, and it's just not worth it. I'm not too bothered about my loan agreements, to be honest. They're players who are getting released at the end of the season anyway, so it makes no difference to me. Going to focus on attacking movement for the Burton game, because I was disappointed with the attacking movement. Adam Webster, he is still a player who I want to bring in. I've no idea how much he's going to cost me. I'll probably do that off camera, make an inquiry. But considering my test career with Portsmouth, I got him into the Premiership, and Webster is still there and is first choice. It shows how good a player he ends up being. So he's definitely a player I'd like to bring on board. In the meantime, we have our final match of this episode, and it is against Burton Albion. And we've got our first team back, so we'll go for the obvious. Quintana in goal, Villa at right back, Jones at left back, Cartwright at left centre back, and Stevens, there he is, at right centre back. And then we'll have our midfield of Delamond on the left and Mantum on the right. Our advanced midfield of... I'm going to drop Beckhold. Controversial, I know, but I'm going to put Tomlin on the left-hand side, because he scored a hat-trick against Tranmere doing that, so we'll try it again. Carino, of course, on the right-hand side, and we're going to have Thompson, wherever he is, there he is, in the middle. And then up front, we are going to have Peter Wilson. See how well he does again. And then bench, we're going to have King. We're going to have Hutchinson. We're going to have Klotmus. We're going to have McConnor. We're going to have Oh, hang on. No, the centre midfielder. Forster-Kasky, Johnston, and Drewson. So there we go. That's our lineup. And oh, that's not our lineup because we need 6 players trained in England and we've only got 5. So let's. Hang on. Trained in England for 3 years before 21st birth. So we need someone. Okay, let's put Morrison on the bench instead of Drewson. There we go. Okay, we'll do that instead. Because they're not 21 yet, that's the problem. They're all still, what, 16, 17 years old? Which is a pain in the arse, but what can you do? Right, game on. Looking to make it 2nd win in a row. Keep the recovery going. I say recovery. We had a bad game, that's all it was. We didn't lose. It didn't cost us lots of goals or, injuries or anything like that. We just had a really poor game and I want to see us bounce back. Because morale-wise it can be damaging, even if it doesn't damage us score-wise. Especially when you've got players like Warnock. I can't imagine he was pleased with how he played, and I'm sure it would affect him for a couple of matches afterwards. So, sort of got to raise morale, hope that the rest of the squad put together some decent results and raise team spirit as a whole. And then individually it'll affect them as well. And before you know it, everyone will be highly motivated going into the second half of the season. And we'll push on towards the league title. This, guys, is our game in hand. So, if we win this one, we go an extra 2 points clear than we already are. And we're already 6 points clear, so we'll go 8 points clear. So we'll actually recover to where we were, or where we would have been if we'd beaten Rotherham. Although this time it's Bristol Rovers and Mansfield who we go ahead of. Because Rotherham have stayed on 40 points. Which, I'm sure they're just as disappointed as I've been in our results. That goal won't count. Morrison offside. Unlucky. It's a good effort. Good build-up play as well. Quick throw in and just jinxed around here, there and everywhere and got through to Morrison. Not Morrison, Wilson. Wilson offside. We don't have Morrison, he's on the bench. Ugh, I'm misreading a lot at the moment as well. Might need to get my eyes checked. Not very good. Right, Jones with a header there. There's a lot of Burton defenders in the box, so there was no chance really of it bouncing to one of our players getting a shot away. Because it would just get blocked again, really. Right, poor throw there. Very easily intercepted for Jones. He found Carino, but poor ball from Thompson. But then that's a poor ball as well. Found Manton, and now Tomlin with a chance to run down the wing. He's not the fastest player in the world, that's for sure. You can see he's struggling a little bit. But he's picked up a good ball there for Manton, and pretty much an open goal there. Keeper came off his line. Manton put it just wide. But from where he was and the difficulty of the shot, I can't really blame him for that. It was an effort, it was worth hitting. It was just unlucky more than anything that it went wide. So what's happening? Carino has picked up a knock, so he's a candidate for substitution at half time. Thompson maybe as well, because he's down to 84%. I wish that reminder thing would go away, because I know he's injured. I can see he's injured. I don't want to sub him off. Why are you still telling me that he's injured? I can see he's injured. Oh, good goal. David Thompson. There we go. 26th minute. David Thompson puts us into the lead, and we are now 8 points clear of Bristol Rovers. We'll take a look at that replay, actually. I was so busy moaning and whinging at Carino being injured, I didn't even spot that. So what was it? Manton to Delamond. Into Thompson. Spun his man, and yeah, good finish. Keeper could have done better, but placed it right in the corner, so not a lot really the defence could have done. Maybe, I still think the keeper maybe should have got over and put his hands behind it, but I'm not going to complain. We're 1-0 up. Well won there from Delamond as well. Carino unlucky. You could put it down to his injury that he wasn't a little bit stronger there. And I'm hoping that their striker doesn't score, because if I try and say his name quickly, I'm probably going to hurt myself. I I used to know how to say his name as well. I believe he's on loan from Watford. Youngster on loan from Watford. So I need to look that up again. Thompson chasing that one down. He so very nearly got onto it as well. It's just unlucky that he got caught at the end. Yeah, well, I suppose we're looking good for our lead. Making a few chances. Shots wise, 6 shots on total, 3 on target. Burton have only had 2, neither of them on target, so it's working in our favour. Delamond with a poor effort there, really. I like seeing players shoot from there, and it was a good layoff, so it was asking to be hit. Just needed to put his foot through it rather than round it. I think he cut across it more than anything. But we are approaching half time, and it's still 1-0 to us. I wanted these matches to be a little more entertaining, but I suppose I can't complain if we're winning. Right, substitution at half time. We're going to put Carino and Tomlin back on their respective wings, and then we're going to put Johnston there, and then we're going to move Thompson out wide and put Johnston in the centre. There we go, second half. Looking to build on the good attacks and extend our lead. Johnston with the high corner there. And again, so many Burton players in the box. In fact, I think their entire team is in the box. They don't have anybody on the halfway line. So we're trying to score against 11 men whenever we have a corner. If we manage it, I'll be impressed. In fact, there we go, 2-0. David Thompson again. And that's why I brought him into the team, guys, because he does tend to score goals when we need them. You didn't see them last season, but when he scored his hat-trick, it was a crucial match. We needed a bounce back from a poor run of results, and I sort of put him into the team at a whim, and he scored a hat-trick. And you see today he scored twice, and he's on for another hat-trick. So, yeah, he's a very, very good player for us. And Johnston, believe it or not, has been whacked. He's down to 70, well, it was down to 69, he's up to 74% again, so maybe he'll run it off. I always give players a chance to run it off. If they don't look like they're getting better, then of course I'll make the sub. He seems to pick up on that one pretty good though, so maybe he's not too bad. And good distribution as well. That's what I like about Johnston. He's calm on the ball, but then he can make magic happen as well at the same time. But he won't go looking for it. And that was nearly 3-0. Good ball there from Wilson, I think it was, into Tomlin, and the defender got back just in time to make the challenge. And Johnston with the corner. Again, Burton have got their entire team back. Wilson with a foul on Richards. And we looked more threatening on that one. If the ball had been slightly more central, we could have had another chance at goal. 9 shots, 4 on target. Burton have still only had the 2. So, especially at 2-0 as well, it doesn't look much like they're going to get back into this. Even there, Jones not doing a great challenge, but he's keeping them high up the pitch. You see, we're forcing them back into their own half now. That was a good challenge, I think, from Johnston. So yeah, I'm pleased when we're playing like this. Not so pleased when we're playing like we did in the last game. That was poor. I want to see a lot better than that. Tomlin getting away with that one, just about finding Jones on the left-hand side. But he whips the ball into Wilson, and it comes across to Thompson, and there you go. 3-0. Thompson hat-trick, 57th minute. Very, 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 very well played there from Jones. What a ball this is. Look at this. The swerve and the power. Wilson, unlucky not to get the shot himself because he controlled it so well. But luckily it came across to the far post where Thompson was waiting, and he drilled it into the back of the net via the keeper. So there you go. We're looking a lot more convincing in this one now. That was easy for Quintaka. I feel a lot more secure and safe when Quintaka's in goal than when O'Brien or King are in goal. And I think it's just because he's played more matches, he's more experienced, he is the better of the 3 anyway. He's got very, very good hands, he's not afraid to use his feet when he needs to, he knows where he knows where the goal is at all times, so he doesn't get caught off guard. He doesn't lose his bearings very often. And he makes really, really good saves, which is basically all you can ask from a goalkeeper. He's like Mignolet, but he doesn't drop the ball as much, is the nice way of saying it. He can play with the ball on the ground, but he's better at catching it. He doesn't drop it as often. I think that's a fair statement to say about Mignolet at the moment. He's a good keeper, but he makes a lot of mistakes. He does drop the ball a lot, and he gets caught off guard a lot as well, which he'll learn. He is only young. And there you go, Quintana proving that he's young as well, letting in a header from Stephen Logan. It's a shame that we can't keep the clean sheet, but eventually, I mean, Burton weren't looking dangerous, but they've had 2 more shots, and they've both been on target since. So, see Dolan with the ball in, and then Logan with the header. It was bound to happen at some point, because I was saying how good we were playing. Right, Jones is looking jaded, 71%, down to 70 now, so I'm actually going to make our last 2 subs. I'm going to bring Klopmas on for Jones, and I'm also going to bring on Forster-Caskey for Delamond. So there we go. Make these 2 subs, and then see the match out, basically. There you go, 2 subs made. So we're entering the 70th minute. We're in the 72nd minute now. 73rd, 74th, 75th, 76th. I kind of, at this point, I don't mind it flying through like this, because at least it means that neither team are really having any attacks or any notable attempts, which it might not be brilliant for us, but for them, it means they're not attacking, so it means that the scoreline's going to stay at 3-1, which I'm perfectly happy with at this stage. We go 8 points clear. Our goal difference is looking very, very healthy. It's plus 36, which, you know, we're not even halfway through the season yet, and our goal difference is plus 36. That's quite impressive. The next best, I mean, Bristol Rovers are in 2nd place, and their goal difference is only plus 17. So we've got over twice their goal difference, which is quite remarkable. And considering how often we let in a goal as well, we don't keep clean sheets that often, which makes it more impressive, really. It means we're scoring a lot of goals. As you can see, 59 goals in 22 matches. You saw in the intro to this how many goals per game we'd scored, and these games have only helped that. Certainly haven't hindered. And there you go, we got a corner. 2 minutes of injury time indicated. We're just entering the 90th minute now, as Johnston will swing this one over. Again, the entire Burton team back defending, so it goes behind for another corner. Almost tempted to call Villa and Klopmas up for this one, to be honest, because, you know, there's no danger. In fact, there is Klopmas with the shot. It came back out to Thompson, who had a shot as well, which was blocked. And now we get a throw in just inside their half, which Klopmas will take. He'll throw it down the line to Tomlin. Much more attack down the left-hand side as well. We've been good down both wings. Villa and Thompson on this side, of course. Thompson completing his hat-trick. And Tomlin and it was Jones and now Klopmas on the left-hand side as well. They link up very, very well. Better than Warnock anyway. Although that's not necessarily saying much. This is Quintana here. He dribbles it out, boots it forward to Wilson. I think he found Wilson. Might have been the defender who headed that. That was unlucky again. We could have brought it down and had another little attack, but I think the players at this point have sort of switched off a bit. They're just seeing the game out. Quite happy to pass the ball around like they're doing now. Cartwright, Klopmas and Douglas Pringle, Forster-Caskey just knocking the ball around. Into the gap for Johnston, back to Klopmas, Forster-Caskey, Cartwright, Klopmas. I like this kind of passing play, because at any moment we could spring an attack. See Cartwright sort of weighing up his options. Klopmas, Forster-Caskey, Mantum, and there you go, the ball goes forward to Tomlin. In the space for Wilson, and it just fell short, but it does not matter because we have won 3-1, and that puts us, as I said, top of the league and very, very good healthy position goal difference wise. So that, guys, is that. We've played 4 matches. Let me just go on the fixtures screen quickly. See there, we beat Gillingham 2-1 in the Johnson's Paint Trophy semi-final, so we're now in the final of that. We then drew 2-2 with Rotherham, which was a bit disappointing. However, we bounced back with wins against Rochdale and Burton, scoring 4 goals, only conceding 1. So, that's it, guys. That's the end of the 100th episode of You Don't Win Anything with Kids. Normality will be restored in the next day or two. I might leave a couple of days gap between this episode and the next episode, just for recording purposes, so I can get a stack of videos ready rather than 2 or 3 at a time. But once episode 101 goes out, then it'll be once every day from then on again. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a long one, but I hope you guys have stuck from start to finish. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.